All right, it's a beautiful fall October day here today in Minnesota, middle of October. I'm just going to shoot a short video quick here without Addison. He's busy today on his iPod, if you can call that being busy, but he does enjoy doing that. But I wanted to just do a quick video. I've got to get the painting and varnishing done here the next few days while it's still in the 60s and 70s. So kids are home from school. There's a little noise in the background, but that's okay. It's a family affair here. So just wanted to talk quickly about the walls then. And so I took, again, those 2x4s and ripped them into 3/4 inch strips. And then I had to buy this Luan, this 1/8 inch Luan subflooring. It's kind of a mahogany coated stuff. And I make these gussets in the corners. And so I've got a special jig square that I'll do more stuff with Addison later on all the tools that we've been using all along. But that's kind of a frame you put together, make sure it's nice and square, then you glue those gussets in the corner. I use clamps. The guy that designs these actually uses staples. He puts staples in as he glues them in there, and then he pulls the staples out later. I happen to have a bunch of different kinds of clamps since I do woodworking, and so I'll show you those later. I've got some really inexpensive ones that worked really well. So then after you do that, you begin to glue in the R board. So you cut each piece to fit. This is actually the upper part of my door frame. And again, a later video will be when these walls are all put on and all that kind of stuff, and you'll get to see that. So this is leaning in front of the front. So that's kind of the, after you've framed it, then you can begin to cut and glue in the R board. And then this is the wall then that's completed. So this is this side. So then there's actually, the gussets are 6 inches square, cut to those 45s in the corners, and then it's a 2 inch wide at the ends there. So these are 2 inch strips then kind of around the edge. That's my daughter Sophia kind of in the background. We're going to talk quickly to you about the stove. We tried out the stove the other night and it didn't work out so well. We'll tell you about that before this video is over today. Sophia is my other ice fisherman. So this wall is all done. It's ready to be varnished, the wood, and then I'll paint the R board. You can just paint it. My hardware store didn't know about that. I'm going to paint mine Pepsi Blue. I always wanted a Pepsi Blue aluminum fish house. My daughter Sophia and I, we built a fish house for her 4th grade project last year out of cardboard and frosting. 3rd grade project, and it was really, really fun to do. And it was Pepsi Blue, so we're painting this Pepsi Blue, all the R board, and all the wood will be stained, and we're going to do that here in a little bit. So that's kind of how you frame the walls, just so you're aware of that. And again, I can't stress enough the part of thinking ahead of time about making sure all the walls fold in. Each wall is 1 inch shorter than the last one, and all that. So the other thing is unique, and I'll do a second video here, just in a second, but this is a ski that I'm building for the bottom. And so if you know the term kerning, I kerned some pieces of plywood and I made these curves in the front. And living here in Minnesota, sugar beets are grown a lot here, and so sugar beet trucks are lined with this really slippery plastic. And the interesting thing is it wears out in the front or in the middle of the trucks, but in the front of the truck, and actually mostly the front, sometimes in the back even, the front of the truck in the bed of the semi, it doesn't wear out. And so when they reline them, they take out the old lining, and of course the centers all wore out, but the fronts are usually still pretty good. So you can pick this stuff up. It's a really hard plastic. I'm going to use that. I'm going to rip it to a foot wide, and I'll glue it on these homemade 3/4 inch plywood skis. And then this is what I'll set the fish house on to tow it around the lake. Sophia and I can talk real quickly here about the stove and how that didn't work out. So this is how he designs them. What I didn't know was he lines the whole thing with this aluminum flashing, and so it's going to work out fine, but I tried to use it using my little buddy heating cylinder, the little 1 pound little buddy heater, and the issue is that thing gets way too hot. We actually caught the wood on fire. Yeah, you wanted to say something about that?
I was afraid because Addison and Dad were in here and it was feeling warm, and I was really scared that it would not turn out good and maybe turn on fire. And it actually turned out to almost turn on fire.
Yeah, we were sitting here, as Sophia and I and Addison, one cold night here just about a week ago. It's been really cold here in Minnesota, so gluing and varnishing and stuff like that. Gluing has had to stop too. And so yeah, we fired that up just to try it out, and we could smell wood burning, couldn't we? It smelled kind of smoky, and it was really hot. And so upon further investigation, a heater like that, it says you've got to have it at least 24 inches away from combustible. So if you're planning to heat this house with that, it'll work awesome, I'm sure. Those things put out a lot of heat and they last a long time. So what Michiana Fisherman uses, he uses a dual mantle fuel lantern, and then the curved piece of flashing there in the back, that reflects the light, because that's how he lights the house, as well as then it provides the heat. So we'll be getting one of those. They're on sale on Amazon, and so we'll be doing that. So I'm going to just shut the video off for a second, and then I'll turn it back on, and I want to show you something that's unique about this house.